Are we live? What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today or this evening? It's funny because YouTube is behind and I'm watching myself just mess around and whatnot. All right. So, how is wow, Kevin? 23 months, man. 23 months. That's very impressive, brother. And thank you for the support. And everything. Thanks for the super sticker. I saw that pass by. I was having some microphone trouble. So, hopefully, everybody can hear me. What's up, Richard? Coffee first. Carlo Adventures in Survival, Boston Rocks, Maryland Pamela, Sean, Doctor. Let me see. Did I get you, Stuart? Dragon Slayer, Crystal Carpenter, Scott Hummer, Little Alaskan Home Place, John Prepper, Dobby Farrar, Oki Khan, Dreams Acres, D's Craft, Disney Up and Boiler Up, Moldy Soldier, Colleen Rich. So many amazing people in here. Good to see all of you. Andrew's in the house. Minuteman 69. Yeah, who is this guy? What's up, Fred, Mark, Raka, Ultra Maga? Let me see. Who else am I missing? Willow of Moonhaven. Our friend all the way from Belgium. That makes you feel good when people are watching you all across the world, right? Let me see. Who else we got? Pony Girl. Good to see you. Oh, and Pony Girl, I wanted to let you know I did talk to Cliff, the urban prepper, after that live stream. We're probably going to do something here soon. What's up, Jan, Yarn, JT, Lori, Amazing Grandma, JRC, Lori. I think, did I get everybody? Quest, Yoshi's mom. All right. All you amazing people. I missed anybody. I truly apologize. I was having some technical difficulty. If my mic goes out, that means we might have to end the live stream unless you guys want to wait while I try to figure out something. But anyways, Papa's Farm, good to see you. And so I was like scrambling at that last minute. Everything was going great until that. What's up, Gail? D's Crafts. Let me see. Who else did I miss? I think I got everybody. Thank you, Pony Girl. And, Pony Girl, funny enough, that's the whole reason why I decided to pick this topic for this live stream. Due to that live stream that he did. It got me thinking. It's let me try to see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Because here it is, folks. Prepping, right? We Greenleaf, good to see you. Practical prepping, right? That's the topic for today, right? And we're gonna, initially I want to say hello to everyone here that I haven't missed. I also want to tell anybody who's catching me on the replay. We're going to talk about practical prepping in the beginning, and then we're going to dive into a couple other things towards half-hour mark and move into something, a few other things. But excuse me, on my way, good to see you as well. Sorry, I'm lip reading. I know you guys are thinking, what am I doing? Anyways, practical prepping, because folks, I use that thumbnail on purpose. Okay, I use that thumbnail on purpose. Because you saw all that food stacked to the rafters. There's so much stuff in there. You're like, wow, how does this person does that? You'll watch YouTube videos and you see, man, this guy has like a warehouse. This guy has a bunker. This guy has 500 acres and living on, a homestead with all these animals and chickens. And it's just wonderful. Why not me? Right. And some people get discouraged, especially some people that are new to prepping. And believe it or not, in the last few years, a lot of people have become preppers. A lot of people have seen the writing on the wall, things that have happened, things that are currently happening, be it something as simple as a weather phenomenon, a train derailment, and the list goes on, right? People are starting to wake up. So they come to they look up prepper on YouTube and they're like, wow, this is too much. They get overwhelmed and they get scared. And that's a big concern for me and some other folks out there. Or, and I'm not bad mouthing anybody. I'm not harping on any channel. I'm not anything like that. Or they come across a channel that basically states, hey, folks, tomorrow the world ends. You know what I mean? Tomorrow the world ends. If you're not ready, you're done, pretty much. What's up, Celtic Grandma? Good to see you, Dragon. Prepper Book Club, good to see you, my friend. So, and to each his own. To each his own. You know what I mean? We all have a message. This person has their message. I have my message, and so on and so on and so on. And some people may agree to disagree with me. that's just normal. That's us being polite and cordial, not, bad mouthing or arguing and stuff like that. But that being said, when someone comes new to the emergency preparedness game, they get freaked out, like, oh man, the world's going to end tomorrow. What am I going to do? I don't have enough time. Kind of get what I'm saying. So, what's up, Karen? Right, Prepper Book Club. Oh man. So let me ask you guys a question. Question to you, my viewers, the folks that watch me. I'm pretty sure you guys watch lots of other prepping channels, or gardening channels, or canning channels, or even maybe some, RV life channels, or who knows what you watch on YouTube. But I'm assuming you watch it because you enjoy it. I'm assuming you watch it because you learn something from it. And to me, that's what practical prepping is. And what I mean by practical prepping is, okay, there's buying all the expensive gear. You know what I mean? Buying $1 million bunker, buying, everything that I do a review on. You like, oh, Grey's doing a review on the Delta 2 EcoFlow. Grey's doing a review on this. And you folks, you do not have to buy anything ever that I do a review on. But you see a lot of stuff. Thank you, Lori Q. I appreciate the super sticker. I really do appreciate the support. So practical prepping is, going out, you first start out, you're grabbing some, canned goods, you get a couple extra, you throw them on the shelf. You start building out let's say, a medical bag, for emergencies. You start putting a little extra water away. There's a process. A lot of folks will come across channels like myself and others, and they'll see, oh, we have this huge prepper pantry. We have all this gear. We have all this stuff. And they're like, I need all that stuff. Well, I feel that way too. Just the other day, I just revamped my entire pantry. I told you guys when I did that pantry build that I was going to revamp it. I'll do an update on that down the road. But that being said, I've been doing this for a long time. Some of us have been doing it 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even longer. So the takeaway from what I'm trying to say is, I want folks that are new to prepping to not be discouraged. Here's what another Fed Up American, thank you so much for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. Another thing in regards to practical prepping is, I'll give you an example. What am I prepping for? Well, I prep for a lot of different things, but I live in Florida. Ask JT, ask Jeff, ask some of the other folks that live in Florida. We deal with power outages, nasty thunderstorms, flooding, hurricanes, specifically hurricanes, every year. Some of us are more prone to power outages and lightning strikes and stuff like that. What's up, Diabetic Prepper? Good to see you. We deal with a lot of things like that. That's what I prep for. I prep for a situation that I know that's the probability of it happening is very probable. Now, on the other side of the other flip of the coin, I also prep for other things, things that may not be, that are out of my control, way out of my control. We see, the last thing I want to say, because there's people out there that are going to tell you the asteroid's going to hit the planet and we're all going to die. Russia's going to launch every nuclear bomb they have, and it's going to be total nuclear annihilation. What else is out there? Yellowstone is going to erupt and the world is going to end. Now, folks, I'm not making fun of that, because some of that is a possibility. Some of it is. The chances of that happening versus the chances of you having a hurricane, tornado, blizzard, snowstorm, loss of a job, a train derailment is more probable than something of that nature, something that more extreme nature. The economic collapse of the United States, something that I worry about, because we see certain things that are happening with the US dollar and with many aspects of what we see in the news. Now, the news, those are the biggest culprits of fear porn. And what I mean by that is the news loves to get everyone hyped up. That's why every year, everybody that moves to Florida, the weatherman comes on the channel and says, man, that's a category 4. You better buckle down. It's going to be the worst hurricane in Florida's history, so on and so forth. Now, sometimes yes, sometimes no. A few years back, where I live, they said we were going to hit a direct hit by a category 4. It did not happen. All the way up to the day before it happened, they said you were going to get hit by a category 4. Category 4 hurricane, if you've been through one, is pretty catastrophic. But it didn't happen. I'm prepped, but it does put a lot of fear into people. The problem with that is that whole kind of cry wolf scenario. So many times the weatherman will tell you that this is going to be the most disastrous situation ever. You prepare for it, be it us that we prepare for everything, or someone who's new to the state who just runs out and causes mass chaos at your local big box store and buys all the water and all the, for some reason, strawberry Pop-Tarts and also milk and eggs, which is weird, just because it's a perishable. But and then nothing happens. And that happens a couple of times. When something really bad happens, eventually they're going to get caught with their pants down. Let me see. I saw something. That's because my church prayed it would move it over. Oh, that's awesome, JT. You must remember the storm that I'm talking. I think it was Michael. The hurricane that was bearing down on the Space Coast. Anyways, so practical prepping in general is to prepare excuse me, I'm about to stutter here, is to prepare for things that you know that are within your realm of where you live. Sure, I would love to have an underground bunker for the apocalypse. That would be awesome to have $1 million bunker with all the bells and whistles and stuff like that. But I'll be honest with you folks, unless I hit the lotto or something changes in my life, I probably will never have that. But I'm going to do the best I can to prepare for the things that are within my grasp and within my financial budget. You know, the last thing, let's say I do a review on, I don't know, something. I'm looking around because I have all these things I got to do reviews on. But I do a review on something that costs $2,000. Let's just throw that number out there, $2,000. Well, with the economy the way it is, a lot of people on fixed incomes couldn't afford that. So instead of spending $2,000 on something that might benefit you, something that's truly going to benefit you is food, water, and your essentials. So that's what I mean by practical prepping, is think practical in the way that you are either spending your money, what you're prepping for, and, you know, even in long term, set goals that are obtainable. Like I would love to set a goal saying, okay, in 5 years, I'm going to have a 3-story underground bunker that is EMP and nuclear proof and all that stuff like that. But the probability I'll probably never attain that goal, and it's just discouraging. Now, if you've been following me for quite some time, you've seen me take some steps. My next step from here is to buy more land and build from scratch an entire homestead, like you know, where I can raise animals and be more self-sufficient. A lot of people say they want to live off grid. Off grid is, anybody ever went living off grid, or does anybody in the right now watching live off grid? Because off grid means truly off grid. Anybody in Alaska, people from Alaska are probably very familiar with this term called a dry cabin. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, that would be very appreciative. If you choose to do so. People might not like what I'm saying and they want to hit the down button. It's okay. It's all okay. YouTube likes it no matter what you do. But they're called dry cabins. You know, where you got to haul your own water up there. There's no power. You're in the woods. It's just, you're off grid. Now you'll look at somebody that says they're living off grid, but they have a, you know, $150,000 truck, $20,000, $30,000 in solar panels, and all the good stuff. I just don't see logically, unless you're very, very wealthy, how that works. Most people that live off grid are they're on either a fixed income, or they've decided to live that way sold everything they have, and they're just living off what they have in their savings. And some people are smart. They'll do things like, sell seeds, sell vegetables, anything like that to their neighbors and stuff like that to make a little bit of extra income. Or maybe they're disabled and they have that little bit of residual income and they put that back into their off-grid location. Hey, Seabass, good to see you. I've thought about it, and off-grid is intriguing. And so I call it, I would like to be semi-off-grid, because let's kind of go back to the whole practical prepping, right? Where I'm talking about the small things that you need to prep for. Well, eventually, something that we know is going to happen. Eventually, the sun is going to get mad, and the sun is going to shoot out a coronal mass ejection. In our lifetime, I don't know, possibly, but eventually it's going to happen. That's kind of a life-altering event. So the people that are living off-grid may not even know, because they don't depend on the power. They don't depend on pumps. They don't depend on all other things. Eventually, people are going to know, because maybe they go into town to get gas for their vehicle, or they go do some, other things. Eventually they'll know. But, most people that'll figure out right away is the big people in the big cities. So that's a possibility. And it's not a, if it's going to happen, it's just when. We don't know. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen 100 years from now. So it's a lot of you folks who watched when I did the interview with Dr. Arthur Bradley, this is his area of expertise. And in that interview that I did, the most recent interview that I did 6 to 12 months ago, I asked Dr. Bradley, I said, do you think this is going to happen in your lifetime, being his lifetime? And he said, probably so. For me, Dr. Bradley's probably my age or younger, but somewhere around there, probably in his early 40s to late 40s, I would assume. I didn't look up his bio, so I don't know for sure. But he said there's a good possibility. So that makes me think, wow, if someone who studies, the sun on a consistent basis says that this is a really good possibility, this is going to happen. That's something I think about prepping for. You know what I mean? That's the worst case scenario. I appreciate that, Coffee First. I would hate to invest in a bunch of solar equipment and then have a CME or EMP fry it. And good point, Tina. Agreed, Oki Khan. He does know his stuff. Speaking of which, I wanted to share something with you quick. I kind of want to go back to the news cycle that I was talking about, how the news, there was an article that I read that was written in 2018 or 2020, right around there somewhere. It might be dated when I pull it up. How the news manipulates people like us, preppers, and other folks. So I wanted to share that with you quick. I'm going to share my screen, and then we'll continue, jibber jabbering. Let me bring this up for you folks to read, and I'm going to make it big enough so that you guys can see it as well. Where is she at? There she is. Oops. I don't want to do something I can't see around the camera. There we go. All right. That doesn't look right. Oh, wrong screen. Folks, it's been a while since I got to get better at streaming. All right, let's do this the right way. All right, this window. Thank you. Wow, you could share all kinds of windows under it. StreamYard is getting a lot different. StreamYard's got a little bells and whistles added to it. So anyways, this is an expert from that article, and it says, I want to start where it says government advice about preparing for disasters, a rise in mass media coverage of threats and their potential impact. Such coverage of these events often states that the threat they pose or heavily focus on the experience of a tiny minority of individuals to suggest a bigger risk than really exists. For example, and this is a big for example, in 2014, the U.S. media coverage was dominated by concerns of mass Ebola outbreak, despite the fact that just 4 people were infected. Nonetheless, preppers are often keen consumers of mass media news, and most admitted in their interviews that the coverage they see underlines the sense in prepping and the reality that while they do not believe an apocalyptic event is imminent, the likelihood of a disaster of some sort is occurring and cannot be ruled out. And so preparing is an important step to take. So a couple takeaways from this article is the news manipulates people into mass hysteria, and they give you all this information and freaks people out, like I was saying. And they kind of use that example. Luckily, I don't know which preppers they interviewed 18 preppers from the United States. They didn't say which preppers they interviewed, but most of those preppers said, yeah, we prep for the worst case scenario, but we're practical preppers. And we prep in a sense that, everyday life situations, things that happen. Like some folks right now, was it Colorado? Anybody from Colorado in chat? What's up, YJ? Good to see you. Jennifer Cruz, hello. And so Colorado, I was watching some video out of Colorado. They've been buried in snow. Folks in Michigan last week, I think it was, my sister and some of the folks that watch my channel that are in Michigan said they were buried in ice and there was power outages everywhere. But some of the folks said, hey, Grey, I have an EcoFlow or a Blue Yeti or a Jackery, and I had power because everybody else was without power. I had ways to heat myself. I had food on hand. It was an inconvenience, but we were prepared, so things are okay with us. That's awesome to hear because they're prepping in a manner that for things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. If someone wants to prep for the zombie apocalypse, at least they're prepping. That's cool. It's great. You know what I mean? If that's their reason for prepping, great. If they're prepping for Yellowstone, great. If they're prepping for, whatever, some cataclysmic comets, asteroids, whatever it may be, great. I'm glad they're prepping, but I hope that they look at that there is a practical way of looking at things and breaking things down in a certain way that's going to be more beneficial to them, to the people they care for, and their wallets. All right, where are we at on time? Wow, I've only been rambling for about 24 minutes. Awesome. Disney Up, Boiler Up says, I have a friend in Michigan still with no power since last Friday. Well, Disney Up, I hope that they're preppers, and I hope they're doing okay. Montana Sky, hello. Good to see you. YJ Overlander says, I have a sticker on my Jeep zombie apocalypse vehicle. That's awesome. YJ, I agree with you 100%. I love my, I'm going to do a video. I've been wanting to do a video, but since we moved into this new house, there's a lot of issues with my finances, trying to get everything squared away with everything else I got going on. I want to build out my Jeep, and that's going to be part of the channel as well. What's up, South Florida? Good to see you. Shelly says, has anyone else been having more and more internet issues like buffering and a lot more completely or just losing connection? I have for the past month. Frustrating. Shelly, me personally, I haven't. I use fiber optics. It might be different than your standard internet connection through cable connection or whatnot. Or if you're like Rudy and you're doing like the satellite stuff. Minuteman69 says, want to live off grid? Don't pay your bills. Good point, Minuteman. Don't pay your bills. You will be off grid, all right. Amazing Grandma says, Northern Wisconsin too, didn't dig out till noon. Wow. I'm trying to look at, I'm looking for questions and stuff like that. Jan says she's having issues with the internet as well. Who knows? It might be something in the air, folks. It might be something in the air. Mid-GA Preparedness Dish Network was a hit yesterday. Gotcha. Thank you. You see Milo on the ready. Good to see you. We're preparing for the zombies. Might be far-fetched idea, but your prep should be the same as everyone else's. And that's what I'm saying, Milo. You kind of went where that's my thought process as well, is that as long as they're preparing, that's awesome. You know what I mean? But if they want to use the premise of the zombie apocalypse. Now, let me say thank you to Texas T for the super chat. Hey, Grey, are you back to doing live streams now? Texas T, I'm going to at least try to do 2 live streams a month. I would like to get more, But the problem is that the wife is working a lot, and I'm having to play mom and dad at the same time. So I have to juggle my daughter's schedule. In the summertime, when she gets out of school and she doesn't have like volleyball practice or band practice or other things that she does, extracurricular activities, I'll have more time freed up, and I'll probably be doing more live streams during the summertime. So that being said, I'm going to at least try to do 2 live streams a month, at least one somewhere the beginning or probably the middle of the month and one at the end of the month for now. But thank you. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, so I like to call it the proverbial zombie, because think about this, folks. I mean, I might have said this before, which I probably do because I'm getting old and I repeat myself. That's nice, South Florida. That's great to hear. I'm prepping for the dummy apocalypse. Roger that. I call it the proverbial zombie because technically there's a format or a version of zombie that we'll deal with if things really go sideways. Roger that, Okie Khan. Nostradamus, good to see you. Yeah, Minuteman, there was another train derailment here locally in Florida that was carrying propane. I didn't see any explosions. I looked at some of the footage, nothing too crazy. It was just there. All of a sudden, there's derailments everywhere. But anyways, back to the zombie conversation. So think about this. If this is hypothetical, if let's say an EMP happens or a coronal mass ejection, something that's kind of like that's really going to be devastating to the way that we live our lives. And people are going to be in a situation where there's going to be a lot of bad things happening. You're going to see people starving to death. You're going to see people without homes because the cities are going to be burning. You know, the most thing I fear the most is other people. Other people, even the nicest person out there, if their kids are starving, they're going to do bad stuff. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? Your neighbor that you say hi to every day, if he knows that you have a stockpile of food, what would he do that if he knew that and he was starving? Anyways, so let's say there's a mass exodus out of the cities. And they're all moving out towards the rural areas, to the farms and to the homesteads and to the countryside. They're going to be shuffling because they're going to be tired. They're going to look dirty. Their clothes are going to be torn. Eyes are going to be sunk in because they're going to be diseased, dirty, hungry, starving, desperate. They're going to be zombie-like. So, that's what I call the zombie apocalypse. So if things really go south, technically there will be a zombie apocalypse, but not of the living dead. They'll be alive, but they'll be in really poor condition. Hopefully that makes some sense. Okie Khan, I agree. And that's what'll happen. Of course, a lot of us have spent not hundreds, thousands, however much money we've spent on our preps, you know what I mean? And someone who's done nothing to come to our home and threaten our families and to try to take that we've worked so hard for, that we've preached to our family members, that we've preached to people that we know, that we've preached to people in church, our neighbors, or whoever that you might be speaking to, like, get prepped, at least start prepping, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And over a few years, you'll have a lot. And they don't, and they come to take what's ours, they're probably going to be met by force because there won't be any law or order at that point. And it's going to be a dog-eat-dog world at that point, right? So a lot of people will take even, like let's say little old granny on the porch, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, she's old, she's feeble, she has nothing to worry about, but they don't know grandma has a double barrel shotgun behind her. Now, she might not be able to take a horde down, but grandma's going to take a few of them with her. You know what I mean? So don't ever underestimate the other person's will to protect what's theirs, you know? me see. B Walker says, have you heard your mod Yarn Prepper got a great sponsor? Heaven's Harvest looks like they have a great heirloom seeds. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me see. I don't think dog is good. Roger that, Dennis. Minor CMEs have been affecting internet, tech stuff, health, and mental issues. Roger that, Carolyn. You see, they are not affected. Yeah, if you guys are if you guys have questions about CMEs and EMPs, if you go to, I have one of my playlists, I have, or go to my most popular videos, and Dr. Arthur Bradley is one of those most popular videos where I had him on the channel and I had my viewers and myself ask him questions. It was an interview style format, and he was very informative. I had him on the channel twice. Maybe I should have him on again. I'm just trying to catch up on Boone. At Boone22 says she is blocked from the live. Yarn, I don't know. Let me see. Because only mods and myself can do you have, let me see. Where is Boone at? I'm trying to back up to see if I can see where Boone is. Unless someone blocked her. I just don't have the time to go into my thing right now and try to find her. So I do apologize. I know you have to be subscribed to interact with the channel. What's up, Ann? Good to see you. Hey, Michelle. Roger that, in the woods. Could you take? I believe that, Shelly. What's up, Infrared Survival? Control F and type the name in. Control F and type the name in. Susan Peters, I know, I see you. Let me see. My keyboard is way over here, folks. You have to bear with me real fast. I'm trying to see. I can't even find her name. After the live stream, I'll double check. I know, me personally, I haven't banned anybody in probably over a year. And my mods usually they'll usually email me and let me know if they banned anybody. So I'm not sure. I will double check after the live stream. So I do apologize, Boone, if you did get if you're on that list somewhere or something like that, and I'll have it fixed at the end of the stream. So my apologies to you. And Yarn says we didn't ban you. So I don't know. It's weird. She's on live chat instead of top chat. Oh, okay. Boone, if you can see and hear me, Pony Girl says make sure you're on the live chat instead of the top chat. So up at the top, it says top chat or live chat. Thank you, Infrared. I appreciate that. I don't know, Okikon. I haven't seen anything. I know someone said at Boone, and that's all I saw. And then I started reading Yarn, kind of grabbed my attention. My settings, all my settings are amazing, Grandma. Is if you have to be a subscriber to the channel for 1 minute. Yarn Prepper says that's all it is. You have to agree to the community guidelines, which is just being nice to everybody, and all you have to do is 1 minute, I think it is, to be a new subscriber. Jan, and that's what I was thinking. Maybe she did get unsubbed because YouTube does have an issue of doing that. Yarn Prepper says blocks people. I was blocked too from channels. Fix your focus on your camera. Oh, thank you. See, I'm not even paying attention to anything, Jennifer. Thank you for drawing my attention. All right, camera, focus on me right here, GreyMan. Wow. Well, this live stream has gone off the rails. I'm trying to get the camera's attention. There we go. Thank you so much for that. DuckDuckGo will not let you in live chat. So, JT, you were as well. So I will look at that. I will double check on any kind of issues that we may have had and whatnot. On that, like I said, my apologies in advance. As you can see, it's harder to go. I'm too far from my keyboard to kind of like trying to go into my settings and stuff like that. Minuteman, so did I. I appreciate that, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Linda Carter, thank you for joining the Grey family. I appreciate that. And matter of fact, all you members, thank you for the several years of patronage that you've given to the channel. I really appreciate your support for being part of the Grey family. It's just going a little bit above and beyond as your normal subscriber. All right, so let's jump on. I think where are we at? We're at 36 minutes. And I wanted to kind of focus on a couple other things. Kind of yeah, that it did, Pony Girl. That it did. I was so focused in the chat, I wasn't even looking at the two monitors that I have with my face on it. Roger that, Jan. What's up, Florida man? So what I want to do is talk a little bit about the February. Which cam and mic do you use? This is a Canon 90D DSLR. It's my old photography camera because I upgraded my camera for my photography business. And then I use a Shure SM7B for my audio for live streams and stuff like that. It took me a while to get there, Papa's Farm, to get this type of equipment. Luckily, I was a photographer and I had some camera gear, but this mic it's expensive, but it's very nice. I'll never have to buy another mic again. Other than that, I use other types of gear. Someone's asked me if I could ever do a video about all the gear that I use for making YouTube videos. And I just don't know if anybody that's a prepper outside of content creators that are preppers would actually watch that. Let me see, meatballs. I was reading it's like I do get squirrely eyes all the time because I get lost in chat. Anyways, folks, so for the month of February, I've done a lot of different things on the channel. And I wanted to discuss a little bit. One, the garden is doing good. Both gardens are doing good. I think here in 2 weeks, we're going to be building the third bed. I'll, of course, show you all that. I'll probably do a garden update maybe next week because I'm waiting for the corn to get so high. And here it is. This is what I love, folks. The last video I did on my channel that I did a gardening update about the three sisters. There's folks out there that said, Grey, it's not going to work. And I said, you know what? It either does or doesn't, but it's fun trying. I'm one of those people that if someone tells me it won't work or it can't work or you can't do that, well, I want to try it. And the reason I feel that way is the reason I like to try things, even though if someone says it's not going to work, is because by learning certain things that may not work for others that may work for you, makes me feel like I'm a more well-rounded person. What I mean by that is I've been gardening for going on 2.5 years now. I've learned so much through actually gardening. I've also learned a lot from my viewers who've given me some tips and all kinds of stuff like that. So every mistake or every success that I go through in the gardening aspect of things is very beneficial to me because it makes me more of a well-rounded gardener. Certain things that may work for folks in the northern hemisphere of the United States can be very complicated down here in the southern hemisphere of the United States. There's some pros to Florida and there's some cons to Florida. So as long as the evenings stay in this 50, 60, under 65 degrees, the bugs aren't that bad. But as soon as we have a couple of weeks where the evening temperatures stay above 65 and they're maybe the mid 70s or low 70s, the bugs wake up and they attack our plants. We can use different methods. A lot of us like to do more of organic growing, We don't want to use any strong pesticides. We don't want to do anything to be harmful to the food that we're ingesting. So we do things like companion planting. We do things like using natural things like, mint sprays or cayenne peppers, or things of that nature, creating our own repellents against pests. And because eventually, if we were going to get into a situation where we had to depend on that garden, knowing how to prevent pests and how to companion plant and do all these things will be truly beneficial to you, the gardener, or the grower, in order to have a successful harvest. I missed something. I'm backing up because I wanted to see something. The log cabin artist. I just like that name. That's really great. And JT, yes, the heat is a big con. So growing brassicas, anything of that nature, leafy greens, your lettuces, most of your standard stuff. If you don't put your seeds in the ground by after the, if you're, depending on what part of Florida that you're in, I'm in zone 9B. If you don't get a freeze, this year we got a freeze in December, but usually after the last freeze, as they say. So I planted early February. I looked for the dates because February through late March, early April, when we start getting rain, because it's very dry also in our winter months. Our weather patterns are just hot, cold, hot, cold. So it's very bipolar. Florida likes to be bipolar around this time of year, but usually that's the only time that we can be successful in growing specific types of plants. Now, there is a way around that. And what I mean by that is if you think about what people grow south of the equator. Let's say in some Asian cultures, in Africa, South America, if you think about what they grow, if they have success with it in their climate, there's a good possibility that we may have success with it in our climates. Specifically, let's say you like spinach, right? But you can't grow spinach during the summertime because it'll die. Unless you have if you have the money and you have some sort of controlled environment, some hydroponic system and all that jazz, right? But if you have a garden bed or some grow bags out in the yard, not so much, unless you try something like Malabar spinach. I think there's also Egyptian spinach. There's some other varieties. I've grown Malabar spinach. The wife loves this stuff. And Malabar spinach grows well in heat. Malabar spinach has some drought tolerant properties. So you have to think outside the box to where you live. Some people up north have a very short growing season. Like in Alaska, I'm assuming the growing season is a lot more restrictive than down here in Florida, where we have a longer growing season. Technically in Florida, if you want to produce survival food, like let's say sweet potatoes and yams and things of that nature, you can kind of grow those all summer or almost all year. You know what I mean? Because it's just the way our climate is. So you can grow a crop that's going to help you sustain. I mean, think about the Irish and the whole potato thing and stuff like that back in history. It's not something that people probably want to do and live off of, but to grow something that's as a survival crop, that would be an option. And I do prefer sweet potatoes and yams versus the white potatoes. From my understanding, they just have a lot more nutrients in the that orange flesh versus your standard white potatoes. South Point, survival, good to see you, brother. Our winter is over. Who knows when, right? Okikana, I hope that spring comes to you guys soon. And that's why I like to kind of do my gardening this early. So some of you folks that want to garden, that have got your seed starts inside your house, at least can kind of live vicariously through me and watch me garden and hopefully enjoy some of the things I do. Maybe you'll learn something or maybe you'll see me make a mistake and you can drop me a comment and say, hey, Grey, you're probably that's probably not going to work. And I will learn from that issue. So far, I've had some people tell me they've always wanted to grow the Three Sisters. They're going to watch the process of my planting the Three Sisters and how it all plays out. I'm not doing a traditional Three Sisters where traditional Three Sisters is kind of like your what is it called? Like not feed corn, but it's a different type of corn. I'm growing a sweet corn. because like the Native Americans, and it goes further back than that. When I did some research on the Three Sisters, they let the corn grow, they let the beans grow, they let everything grow, and then they chop it all down at the same time after everything dries out, because they're taking that food and using it to survive throughout the winter. I'm doing it in a manner to practice the Three Sisters method, but with kind of more of a fresh vegetable scenario. You know what I mean? Because the corn is going to be sweet. I'm going to be harvesting things like that. And I will probably let some of the beans kind of dry out towards the end. But I don't know. It should be intriguing. And that's why I told anybody who wants to see this process from start to finish to follow me in that video, because that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to, as soon as the corn gets tall enough, we're going to drop our beans. And then a week later, we're going to drop our Seminole pumpkins. Someone asked me, what is a Seminole pumpkin? It's kind of like Seminole pumpkins could be a yellowish to a slight orangish color. It closely kind of like a bowling ball sized pumpkin. The flavor kind of resembles a butternut squash, but they're great for pie making. If you like pumpkin pie, and that's why the reason we're growing it, because I want to be able to take the Seminole pumpkins and do a video of making that, from growing that from seed, harvesting it, and then making a pumpkin pie for this holiday season, which is far away. But Seminole pumpkins you can store with like other winter squash. You can store for long periods of time in a cool, dark place. Kind of like over here, I have, if you guys watch me when I did my sweet potato harvest, I still have sweet potatoes sitting over here in a bin that are still good, just because they can, and when they sit that long, they get so much sweeter. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. So that's what's going on with the garden. I love always reading your guys' comments and questions and stuff like that. Like I said, we learn from each other. That's what I truly love about having a YouTube channel. So one thing, people that have lasted this long and watched this video or this live stream this long, I wanted to add something else. So over the month of March, I'm going to be doing something different with a couple of videos. And what I mean by that is I want to make a very interactive video. The videos will be short in nature, but I hope the comment section is very long and intriguing. So I'm going to pose a question to you, my viewers, and then tell you, let's say, what's the best this for that, right? And with this for that, I'll have a topic in there somewhere. And I'm going to say, my number one choice for this is this. What is yours and why? So what I'm hoping from you, my viewers, is after we do that video, whatever the topic is, there'll be an abundance of information, not only for myself, for my pick, but from all the viewers that interact with that comment section. People will be able to look in there and get all different types of ideas, not just my ideas, but the great community's ideas. So I want to do some really interactive videos here soon. Of course, I got plenty of review videos to do as well. Like I told people, I really enjoy when people watch the review videos. The review videos are for basically for you, so that you don't have to go out and buy something, and you can watch me review this product and decide for yourself, is it something that you truly need? Is it worthwhile the money? Do I want to buy it because Grey has a discount code? That kind of stuff like that. It's beneficial to me as a YouTube content creator, because I'll be honest with you folks, I don't make a lot of money off YouTube. Not at all. I think this month through ad revenue, I might have made $100. That's being totally transparent. Might have made $100. But so the benefit to me as a content creator, working with these people that send me all this free stuff to do reviews on, is fun for me. And the fact that I get some free gear, and sometimes I can work a deal out where I can get them to do a giveaway. So that's beneficial to my viewers. And that's, as I'm growing, the channel grows, I get more pull with these affiliate partners. So that's my perk for doing YouTube. And Jennifer, and see, you understand that, right? Some people think that if you're here to make, if you're a content creator and you're here to make money on YouTube, unless you're doing gaming or you're doing some sort of makeup tutorials or whatever that the kids watch, you're probably not going to make a lot of money if that's your goal. My goal is to just educate, inform, and engage with my viewers. I have a full-time job. My wife works. We all work. We don't really need money from YouTube, but we don't mind the free stuff and doing the reviews because that's fun. It gets a little crazy sometimes because sometimes you get too much stuff, you know what I mean? And then that's when I start, asking people in my mutual assistant group, my mag, like, hey, do you need this? I got an extra one, but then I also like to give things away. Matter of fact, I have a review coming next week on a solar generator. And since you guys are watching my live stream, I'm going to give you guys the inside scoop. I forget what size it is, but they sent me 2 of them. In that video that I do, I'll save it towards the end because, I want people to watch the entire video, but I'm going to let everybody know that I'm going to do a live stream and give a second one away to whoever lucky winner that happens to be. So they shipped me 2 of them, one for myself to do the review on and one to give away to my viewers. So those are kind of the deals I like to work out. That's why I enjoy reviews. Some people say, Grey, you do a lot more reviews now. I get it. I understand. But, my channel's kind of like, sometimes we do a live stream. Sometimes we'll talk about specific topics. Sometimes we do gardening. Sometimes we do this. It's just, it's not really a specific type of channel. It's a prepping channel. And I hope it all kind of somehow mingles together. I appreciate that, Diana. So, and that's the bottom line is if I can benefit from something, I try to have my viewers benefit from as well. And I do appreciate some of the folks that use my Amazon store, like, oh, Grey has an Amazon store or Rudy has an Amazon store, and they're going to use Amazon anyways, and they'll go buy stuff just to support the channel. So I appreciate all the help that you guys do for the channel. And South Point Survival, you're absolutely right. So South Point Survival writes, you really have to love making videos because it's absolutely a lot of time and energy invested into it. Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. I will spend 8 to 10 hours on a specific video, like the EcoFlow Delta video. I spent all day doing that video for a 20-minute video that a bunch of hours of recording. And then I slimmed it down to 20 minutes. It's as short as I can make it because people's attention spans are very short. Unfortunately, that's why TikTok is popular, but also like the YouTube shorts and stuff that I don't do is very popular, but it's a lot of work and a lot of dedication, a lot of research. But I enjoy it. I love doing this and I'll continue to do it for as long as I can. Sometimes I might take a hiatus and be gone for a week or two, or how when I moved, but I will always try to be here for you guys. I've met some really great people, other content creators, and of course, all of you, my viewers, make me want to do this. You know what I mean? That it makes me enjoy doing it. That's awesome, South Point. You take care, Michelle. What time is it anyways? Oh, we're about to wrap it up. Does anybody have any questions for me before we wrap this live stream up? And I do want to thank everyone that's been that's hit that thumbs up button. I truly appreciate that. Everyone that's been interactive. And if you get a chance, if you're watching this on a replay or after the live stream and you enjoyed the live stream, just go down in the comment section and say, hey, thanks, Grey, for doing a live. Or, hey, Grey, I wanted to ask you a question. I'll try to answer it in the comment section. All that does is let other people, it helps what's it called? The algorithm, as they like to call it. The AI or whatever it is that runs YouTube. It helps propel smaller channels. And I know I don't seem small, but I am still a fly on the wall or a speck of dust compared to the majority of channels on YouTube. But it helps other channels. Like, let's say if you're just starting out, the comments, the thumbs up, the interaction is just very beneficial to you, the channel. But I feel it's also beneficial to everyone that drops a comment, especially people that read other people's comments and interact with those folks, because we're all learning from each other. You know what I mean? So I think that's always a good thing to see. My pleasure. On my way. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Angela, you've been around for quite some time, Angela, and I appreciate you being a member for so long and always dropping comments and being interactive. I really appreciate that. Daisy, good to see you as well. You have a good evening. Lori in Oklahoma says, is there any way I can send you some seeds to give away? I have about 600 packets. So Lori in Oklahoma and anybody else listening, if you go down to any of my videos, down in the description, I have a P.O Box. In that P.O Box, you can send whatever you want. You want to send a letter, a postcard, which I really like, seeds, whatever that you want to send, Grey, and you can say I can show it on the channel. Whenever I do a live stream, I'll show it on the channel. If you want to write a letter, I know it's old school, but down in the description is my P.O Box, my email, all that information is always down below for you guys to reach out to me. Especially if you want to mail something, the P.O Box is down there. If you can't, you can go to my email. For some reason, if you have any trouble finding the P.O Box, and I'll send it that way to you. My email is very simple, GreyManPrepping@gmail.com. So that's very kind of you as well, Lori. And I will, if you do send me seeds, let me know, put a little note that you want me to give some of these seeds away or all the seeds away, so that I can follow through with that. No problem. I appreciate that, Lori. You're very, like I said, you're very kind of you. And I'm pretty sure the Grey community appreciates that as well. I've been building a huge seed vault myself. I guess I'm working on organizing it. I want to organize it from the time of year to plant, to the type of plant, and where it falls at, like, all brassicas together, all squashes, and so on and so forth. I like to be super organized. I agree, Angela. Dragon Slayer and B Walker, you guys are talking about gardenia bushes. My wife loves all those fragrant flowers, especially the jasmine flowers. She loves jasmine tea. Randy Brown, you have a great week too, brother. Let me see. Jennifer says, have you thought of doing shorts? They are less than a minute and can help some views and possible new subs. I've thought about it, Jennifer. I'm just not familiar with it. Eventually, maybe I will. I'm still trying to even work on my Instagram. I'm just so, believe it or not, I'm very restricted. So that's why I've only been doing a couple of videos a week, just because my time is being pulled so many different places. A lot of you folks may know that I have a store that my business partner and I, we created a company called Southeast EDC. So a lot of energy is going into that, because, and outside of YouTube, I have to do things to provide for my family and stuff. But so there's a lot of things, plus my daughter and the wife and everybody else like that. My wife's only day off now is Sunday, sometimes Saturday, but my day off is Sunday. So Sundays we spend together as a family. We go out and garden. We'll do things, maybe go out to dinner one night. We'll go to a festival. We do things together as a family on Sunday. So it's kind of there, or things like that. Colorado Pack Rat, good to see you as well. Where are we at? We're almost there. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. That's funny, Susan. I'm trying to read some of your guys' comments here to make sure I don't miss anything. Creative redundancy. What's up, CR? Coming in at the end, but good to see you, brother. But again, before we wrap this up, I want to say thank you to every single one of you amazing people that joined the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I don't care if there's 10 people in a live stream or 1,000 people in a live stream. I enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? It's all about, the interacting with you, my viewers. I really appreciate every single one of you. That's awesome, Lori. Good to read. That's awesome. I've had very good luck with the seeds as well. I'm supposed to be doing a video on I forget what it is, but an heirloom company that's sponsoring me. That's going to be going in the third bed, but I will talk about that at a later date. Agreed, B Walker. That's a great video. I enjoyed doing the Three Sisters. Thank you, B, for sharing that. I appreciate. I'm glad you caught the live too, Seabass. All right. Looks like I think I've caught up to all the questions. Right, slackers, Jennifer. Tell them to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. All right, folks, we're at the hour mark. Again, thank you all for being here. Mods, thank you for all being here as well. And thank you, everybody, for keeping it nice and clean and organized. I truly appreciate that, folks. I love it when the chat is friendly to each other. We just have a good time. But folks, remember to hit that like button. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, drop a comment after the live stream if you had a good time. And what would you like to see on live streams? Give me a little feedback. I appreciate that. But everybody, please have a blessed night. And remember, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound, and God bless.